All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Generation H. We got Daryl here, we got Carlos, and we got Big Dilly. And today we're going to talk about Furnished Finder versus Airbnb, what the differences is, and which one's better, which one's more of your time, which one's more return on your time, and which one's just easier.
Yeah.
So for me, I have one of each. I actually have my first one moving in tomorrow for the Furnished Finder.
Nice.
And Airbnb, obviously, you guys have Airbnbs too. I know Daryl's been trying a little bit.
You've tried.
So I'm
Furnished
putting
Finder.
mine onto Furnished Finder. I haven't actually tried it yet. Yeah,
Okay.
so we're gonna test it.
So
Yeah.
maybe we'll decide whether you want to or not after I get through saying the pros and cons of each. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons.
Stop. Like the video.
Yes.
And
Tap
share.
that little like button, that subscribe button. Yes.
All
Share.
right, subscribe, share,
Tell
share.
your friends, your
Yeah.
family,
Share.
everybody.
Yeah, we'll Venmo you. No, I'm just kidding.
Otherwise, you can't hear the rest of the video
Yeah.
unless you like it.
All right, so first off, what Furnished Finder is,
Yeah.
which is a difference. What is Airbnb? Someone
You
explain-
find furniture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
find furniture and then resell it on Craigslist.
And you resell it.
Yeah.
No, so Furnished Finder is more of, it's not a long-term stay, so it's not 12 months,
Yeah.
but it's 3 months, maybe 4 or 5. Usually they're in 3-month increments because they're for traveling nurses.
Yeah.
Airbnb could be as little as 1 day to whatever, 3 months as well.
Yeah.
But usually with Airbnbs, they're more shorter term.
So then, furnished finders, is that just another way of calling like corporate rentals?
It's corporate. What would you define corporate rentals?
A long term.
Yeah.
Would traveling nurses fit
backed
into?
by the business or the
So-
I
company?
would.
Like a
I would
guarantor.
classify travel nurses as corporate rental.
Would you classify that too? Travel nurses, but it's
'Cause
not
you said
back.
that-
No,
you said
because
that
it's not
longer
back.
than 30
Yeah,
days.
it's booked by the nurse.
Correct.
Not necessarily.
It's
not
and
backed
it's paid by the nurse.
Yeah.
You're right.
Not
you're right.
the business.
So it's a little different. And
A little bit.
it would be cool if you want to jump in and compare all three. If you guys know anything about corporate,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about
Yeah, I
corporate
don't
rentals
either.
at all.
I mean, we can assume stuff, and,
Yeah.
and you guys can correct us.
Yeah. So we'll go for. I'm gonna compare them both together. So
Yeah.
Airbnb, it's free to list.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Free.
But you pay per booking, so you pay the
Yeah.
fee.
Furnished Finder, $100 to list per
Yeah.
property.
But you
So
don't pay it
per property, and you pay it once indefinite. So like not every time you list.
So
or
every
time.
think
so
it's
you
per
not every
year.
time it's once a year.
Yeah, once a
So
year.
$100 a year just to list on Furnished Finder. Airbnb is free, but their fees are it's
You're gonna
probably
pay $100.
It's about 15 to 20% based on the Airbnb fees, based on what the
Airbnb fee is not occupancy tax and all that kind of stuff.
with occupancy.
Airbnb.
Like,
Oh, okay.
like if they're paying $500, you're gonna get
Because you're
400.
probably going to pay
Yeah.
those same fees with furnished
Furnished
finders.
finders. Yeah.
No, not necessarily because it's a longer term, right?
Okay.
It's not considered short term because it's more than
Okay.
Okay, so now you're not having to pay the
Occupancy.
hotel occupancy tax. and all
Right.
that.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
So you're just paying more of like a rental tax.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you don't even
Normal
need
rental.
normal income, whatever is on your income. You're not. I don't think, at least not that I know of.
Okay.
You're paying anything to the city.
Okay.
Nice.
I could be wrong. We're not attorneys here or CPAs, so we're not
Disclaimer.
giving out
Disclaimer.
legal advice.
Don't sue us.
Another big thing is Airbnb. When guests book, there's a big review process in Airbnb, so
Yeah.
they can just instant book. There's not as much tenant screening, not as much guest screening compared to Furnished Finder. On Furnished Finder, you don't have to, but it's advised that you run their credit report, run their criminal background, just like a normal tenant.
So you're treating them like a normal rental.
Yeah, so we collect
kidding.
application fee, send them an application, and I might be doing it wrong, but that's what from what
But you're getting your first guest.
we're getting our first guest, yeah. And based on what I've heard, that's what Furnished Finder recommends. So I kind of just did what they recommended,
Sure.
what other
Yeah.
YouTubers recommended. So it's a lot more back and forth on the Furnished Finder side with the tenant because you gotta
Direct.
screen them, send them the application fee, do all that.
Nice.
And Airbnb is just okay. They have good reviews, accept.
Accept,
So a lot easier in that regard for Airbnb. That's a point to Airbnb.
1 to nothing.
And then as far as
So now, like bookings per. So Was this a previous Airbnb before you turned it into?
Yeah.
Furnished
So
Finder?
yeah.
So now you can
I
compare
kind of
the
have it
two?
on both.
I'd call it 2 points, right? Because there's
Yeah.
no entry fee for Airbnb. It's
Correct.
free. You still have to furnish it and all that, but like
Yeah.
you book it.
You give a point to Airbnb for that? No, I'd give a point to Furnish Finder. I'd rather
for
pay.
charge.
I'd rather pay
charge-
100 up front and not have to pay fees.
Because I guarantee you on Airbnb we pay more than
Oh, it's because of
$100.
the fees. Yeah. I mean, you get 2 bookings. Like
Yeah, it's 100 bucks.
$100
Yeah,
bucks.
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, all right. So you give Furnish Finder 1 for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and then Airbnb for
Just approve. And you're
approve.
good.
Yeah,
Easier,
less,
easy
less
use. Okay.
time screening. Another big thing is with Airbnb, no leases at all.
Yep,
Same
I like
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Click accept.
Yep.
Furnish Finder or short-term rentals, you have to create a whole new lease, have them sign it, whatever, and make it a 3-month lease.
Do they have a stock lease that you can use?
I went online and got one for free, not off Furnish
Did you
Finder.
use your long?
But no, yeah, Furnish Finder doesn't provide the lease.
Was it similar to your long-term rental
It's,
leases?
it's similar, just
Okay.
a little bit different. I went through it and read every line and kind of just edited it as
Yeah.
it goes. But yeah, it's pretty similar too. I guess you probably could just use long term and edit.
And just
And
edit to
shorten
3
it down.
months
Okay.
instead of 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I would still recommend you reading through it to make sure everything's in there. So that's a point to Airbnb.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say price difference. Is there like a big price difference? Because on Airbnb you pay per night versus Furnish Finder you're paying for the stay.
Yeah, so revenue generated, if I were to compare on the same unit
For the same amount of time. It's like
for 1 month, let's say.
Yeah.
1 month for
Yeah.
Furnish Finder, 1 month for Airbnb.
So on Airbnb, I was getting in revenue.
Yeah.
gross.
So yeah, gross
Gross.
revenue. That doesn't include cleaning fees or anything. I was getting about 27 on this particular one. 26, 27
Okay, on the Airbnb.
on the Airbnb.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then on Furnish Finder, I'm getting 21.50 per month.
Okay.
Now,
That's pretty similar.
yeah, and it, but
Once
if
you minus
And
cleaning
now
fees.
the 27 is that from September 1st through the 31st? Like, is that like is that the
Full
same
calendar month.
tenant, the same person, or is that like going in and out?
Oh, that was
You have-
probably 10.
oh yeah, turnover, just a normal month. But
Okay.
it's not comparing it to the last year same month. It's comparing it to
Last month.
so my first 4 months starting in
Okay, so then
March.
even though you're making 28, you still have to back out like cleaning fees and all. So you're
right.
getting
So
close to
you're getting
being
close to the same.
Yeah.
I think so. You're getting probably around the same.
Okay.
Do you
And
think the cleaning is going to be more extensive when those people check out after being there for 3 months?
I wouldn't say so, but
Okay.
it might be, depending on if
Yeah.
they're partiers or not. Regardless, I mean, my cleaners, she usually does it for the
And
same
now,
price.
can you include the cleaning fee into that 2,100, or is
Oh
that
yeah,
just-
I guess I didn't. So you do add the cleaning fee into that.
Okay, so 21 plus the cleaning fee.
right,
Okay.
exactly.
That's not bad.
A pro of Airbnb is it's all done through the platform. All the payments are received through the platform.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ahead of time.
Yeah. On Furnish Finder, they do nothing with payments, so you got to receive it
No
through
kidding.
Venmo, Cash App, whatever, or check, cash, whatever you want to do
Wow.
with Furnish Finder, and that kind of sucks. You also got to collect a deposit if you want a deposit on Furnish
Okay.
Finder, which I would recommend.
Yeah.
So for me, I get a $500 deposit.
So it's not like the. So you
I don't do
base it
one
off
full
of
month.
1 month. Oh, okay.
I just do like whatever I
Wow.
think is fair. I mean,
Yeah.
these people have good credit scores and everything. The 500 is just in case something
Yeah.
goes bad.
Okay.
I think we're at 2-1. Okay.
Yeah.
And
And now, are they paying per month, or are they paying you a lump sum for the whole stay?
so they pay per month, beginning
Okay.
of every month. They're paying me
So you're
21.50.
21.50
So-
broken down
Entire
into.
month.
Yes.
At a time. Like just like rent.
Okay.
So with Furnish Finder,
Yeah.
they have to actually bring the deposit and the first month's rent before they even move in. So that's $2,600 you have to collect from them.
Okay.
With Airbnb, they just pay. Well, I guess it's similar.
Upfront.
Yeah, I guess.
They don't really have a deposit with Airbnb.
Yeah,
either.
that's true.
You can request a deposit.
So you can.
Yeah. Especially for that long of a stay, you probably would want to.
Yeah. Probably should have done that.
Yeah, but you get all of it up front. Opposed to Furnish Finder, they
Correct.
pay every month. Airbnb, you get the entire thing. If they stay for 3 months, you're getting the entire 1,500.
That is not true.
Yeah.
7,500.
No.
No?
So I have a guest right now that's staying for 90 days, and the first month we only got, so the total stay was 12,000 and some change. We got 4,000 the first month, 5,000 the second, and then the third month will be 3,000 or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
get
so
all
it gets
those
broken up too. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically like we're getting paid per month.
Yeah. So the Furnish Finder, you are more relying on the lease. I guess if someone overstayed their welcome at the Airbnb, then
Yeah.
you have more of a recourse with Airbnb.
I feel like you do, because Airbnb would probably go to bat for you. I don't know.
I don't think Airbnb would, but I feel like you can just call the cops and be like, "Hey, this Airbnb guest overstayed or something."
Yeah.
But I think there's a isn't there a 28-day rule where
28.
they have tenant rights after 28 days?
Yeah.
So that could be something different between the two.
Okay, so I don't mean to DRO you. All right, so they pay every month. They have a security deposit. You have all that.
Yep.
Would you call that a benefit? I guess
I would say
I would say
do we already give a point to you actually physically having to collect versus
No.
Airbnb doing it for you?
So that'd be
That's a
another
point for
That'd
Airbnb.
be another
point.
point Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not making Furnished Finder look good at all.
But it is on, I feel like the ease,
Yes.
like it is easier to do furnished finder.
It is easier, but every 3 months you got to do that same thing where you got tenants. Kind of
True.
like you're turning over a rental every 3 months. You got tenants calling you, texting you, asking
This is
about
very
And
it.
you're not making that much more in a rent.
Or you're
Yeah,
not
is it
making
worth it?
more at all.
But
so, like,
but the big difference is there's no cleaners every week.
Correct. So
like
I feel
you
like
would
it would
be.
be
Less
easier,
logistic.
easier
Yeah.
for older people, I think, because a lot of older people stress about the cleaner situation and all of
Yeah.
the extra stuff that go into an Airbnb because they don't want the time side of it.
Yeah.
Because if there's a lot of time, it's not really, but it is, because now you're having to respond to the guests, do all that.
Yeah, so
But
there's
I'm
still a
guessing-
lot of time with Furnished Finder. It's just kind of put
Two
into
days
a
on
couple,
the front. Yeah.
couple
On the
weeks.
front end, and now in three months, you're on cruise control.
Yeah, 3 months. But then,
Yeah.
once that last month comes around, you're gonna have to start marketing again and answering tenant phone calls again. So
True.
you're back to square one with answering.
So is
phone
there
calls.
more downtime, you think? I was gonna say, because like once that guest is up, are you marketing before that guest checks out to get someone? Because on Airbnb,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
basically like back to back to back
Yeah,
to back.
Yeah, so it's the same thing with Furnished Finder. The calendar's open, so anyone
Okay.
can still apply because I just block it off and people can
Nice.
see that the calendar's open. I think
After that day.
Yeah, October 1st or
Okay.
December 1st, and they
Oh,
can
yeah.
apply from there.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Carlos?
But the bad thing is you might have a little lag period.
Yeah, lag period.
Like 15-day lag period.
Okay.
Which if that happens in my case where the Furnished Finder tenant moves out on, let's say, the 31st of
Yep.
December, and then the 15th of December, the next person's supposed to come in. Then there's a 15-day lag period, but you can just throw it on Airbnb for those 15 days
Those
if you
15
want
days
to.
and fill in your gap.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
To maximize your profits.
Yeah,
But-
because that's what I would be worried is 1 month you're renting for 3 months and then they check out. Next thing you know, you got 50. That's half of a month
Yeah.
that you're losing.
Yeah.
Versus like my Airbnb, we're probably down anywhere from 3 to 5 days in a
Just
whole
a
month.
few days.
Yeah, a few days.
Yeah.
And that's only because I don't allow single night bookings, so it just happens to work out like that.
Now, the process of finding a tenant at the
Mhm.
beginning,
Yeah.
how much more labor intensive really is it? Because you're not showing it, are you?
I took a video of mine, so I went through, and that usually works enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not usually meeting up with them and showing it. Sometimes people won't want it unless they go and see it first.
Really?
You know, depending on
Really?
how picky the person is. So some people you might have to, but obviously there's probably enough people out there where you wouldn't have to do that.
Wouldn't
So,
have to do
so how
that.
many people did you talk to, would you say, before you got
Um,
this booking?
we probably got like 12 inquiries. And when I say Jessica's been the one going back and forth 'cause she's a travel nurse too, so
Nice. That
she can
helps.
relate with them. But we probably got 12 inquiries, and then of those, like 6 of them or maybe 7 of them got like pretty deep in conversation, and we had like 4 legit applications.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
then
And how long was that on the market for?
it was on the market for about a good amount of time because I had a long-term Airbnb stay, so
Yeah.
it was on the market for like 3 months before that move-in date. But as it got closer to that move-in date, we got more inquiries.
Wow, okay.
So it kind of got booked like right after that Airbnb guest
Yeah.
was moving out. So as you get closer, usually like a month out is when you
Yeah.
get the bulk.
Now, question for you here: when you were screening them, the inquiries, was it more appealing for guests that were staying 4 or 5 months versus a 3 month, or how did you kind of judge them? Because they had to have been all different,
Well,
right?
from my knowledge, travel nurses are always on 3-month contracts.
Okay.
And I would prefer to have a travel nurse.
Okay, gotcha.
So if they wanted like 4 or 5 months, usually they weren't travel nurses. So
Really?
and I could be wrong on that.
So I talked to a travel nurse just the other day, and she spent 6 months in Hawaii.
Okay, so she had
She
2
was on
3
six-
months. She had 2
okay,
3
2,
months
3 months.
probably.
Gotcha.
I would think.
That makes sense. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So then, what do you think? What's your?
I haven't. She hasn't moved in yet. The one moving in.
What's your
So
process from like scratch to like
Yeah,
her about to
brand
move in?
I guess I don't know. I couldn't decide yet. I got to see how this plays out. How
Well, would you
less-
say it was easier going from because you went from scratch
Well,
to Airbnb?
well, I know these next 3 months are going to be a hell of a lot easier. For
Okay,
sure.
gotcha.
I would say if I were to choose, Furnished Finder would be a little bit better because you just have to consolidate all the applications, just do a one-time thing, and then
Yeah.
you forget about it for 3 months. For Airbnb, you kind of got to keep up with the cleaners, keep up with
Yeah.
responding to guests.
Yeah.
It's a lot more
everything.
moving parts with
Yeah,
Airbnb.
Yeah.
exactly.
And okay, cool. Then
Yeah.
is that it?
That's
Yeah,
about it,
that's
unless
all
you guys
I
have
know.
any.
You changing any of yours to? Well, you're gonna get
So
started
I was
on one.
thinking about converting one of mine because I think the money part of it is probably going to be close to the same.
Yeah.
Because I have one Airbnb that's doing good, just not doing great as the other two.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about converting that one just to test it.
Okay.
Yeah. You can always go back. It's not like
You
you
could.
can't.
You
Yeah.
could. And to the point of the conversation earlier about like doing Furnished Finder and then just filling in the gaps
Exactly.
with Airbnb, you could totally do that.
Yeah.
Is there a way to link their calendars?
Yeah, well, you could link Airbnb to Furnished Finder, but you can't vice versa.
Okay.
So if it gets booked on Airbnb, it'll show on Furnished Finder's calendar, but if
It works on
you have to
Furnished Finder.
physically go on Airbnb and mark it off, which is not that bad because it's just it's like a 3-month spread. And you just
Yeah.
Oh,
do it
yeah, you
once.
just block it
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
March through June. Or
Yeah,
whatnot.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And one last question. So you can get a pretty rough and good idea. I'm sorry, rough and good opposites. You can get a pretty good idea about what your Airbnb money is going to look like, right? Because you can change your pricing day to day, weekend to
Yes.
weekend. You can
Right.
fluctuate that a lot more. So is there a AirDNA for Furnished Finders where it's like this is going to be a fair price
Yep.
for a 2-bed 1-bath in this area?
I would say the way to figure that out would be just to go on Furnished Finder and look at ones in the area
Yeah.
that are open, kind of similar to how you probably do rentals. And that's a good point because
That's a good question.
also a good point you're locked in for that 2150. So if like the market starts going down or less bookings, less traveling happens, you're locked in for that 2150. That person's going to stay regardless for those 3
Yeah.
months.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about the fluctuations in Furnished Finder
Now that 2150, that was per month, right?
per month.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
That's
so
cool.
then you like Furnished Finders. Could be an easier thing. We'll revisit this in 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to keep doing Furnished Finder for that one for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, nice. What
And-
made
and-
you choose Furnished Finders for that one and not any of your other ones?
It's just a small 2-bedroom.
Okay,
So
so you're typically looking for a smaller house versus a
yeah,
larger
unless
house?
you want to do it by the room, which
Okay.
by the room Furnished Finder, but
Yeah,
that could get
Probably not as good.
I mean, they could collide heads of people staying in there and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Okay.
And then you could have an empty room for a whole month or two because
yeah.
Yeah. Now, do they typically travel in pairs? Like, do travel nurse friends travel together? or-
so most of our applications have just been the travel nurse and then the
Okay.
boyfriend if they have a boyfriend.
Okay, gotcha.
Usually they're either by themselves or with a pet. They usually
Yeah.
have a pet. So
Okay, so you do you allow
yeah,
pets
I
on
do.
yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that might
We
be
should,
just something
yeah.
to
Gotcha.
think about if you're thinking of doing that.
Mm.
Because I've never allowed pets at any of my Airbnbs.
Mm.
So you'd have to kind of bend it a little bit to go to Furnished Finder. Because I would
Yeah.
assume they would want to bring their pet when you're there for
Yeah,
3 months. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
You want it to feel
Something
like
from home,
Yeah,
warm.
something
Yeah.
from home.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
I guess we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
That works.
And if you have experience with Furnished Finders or Airbnb, you want to drop, I don't know, something that we missed.
Yeah,
like a
or
benefit
correct me if I said anything wrong.
Nice.
Which I might have.
All right, guys. Again, thanks. Like, subscribe, watch it all the way through. Share, comment.
Tell your friends.
Tell your mama. All right, guys.
Generation.
Again,
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, what were you gonna say?
I said Jay.
No, you're in the middle of saying something.
Yeah, generation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna. Daryl, can you go ahead and can you close it out?
This is Generation Hustle.
Hey.